Good morning. Today is January 23rd and it is about 8:30 in the morning and it's about 56 degrees out here in the greenhouse. It's actually the same outside. The sun's not up is why. And it is 2021 and I just got the other two seed orders that I had in, so I wanted to go ahead and share them before I got into them, because I'm definitely about to be planting a lot of stuff today out in the greenhouse and in the garden. And so the orders that I got were from Hoss Tools and from Baker Creek. So I'll go ahead and get into the seeds, and then I'll show you a little bit of other things that I'm planning on doing and that I'm getting into today. So the first one is the purple top turnip, which I have some of these seeds. They're not from Hoss, but they're from another year. And I just got these to have some fresh seed. I do have a few of these coming up in the garden that I planted with my old seeds, but I wanted to have some fresh turnips on hand because I want to grow more of those this year for sauteing for breakfast. And then the next one is the Laurentian rutabaga from Hoss Tools. This is the only rutabaga that they sell, and I've never grown these before, but I'm also interested in growing these for sauteing and roasting as well. And then here is the Ruby Fresh Baby Swiss Chard. I had mentioned on my previous video that I wasn't growing regular Swiss chard this year because it's just bitter and I really don't like it that well. So I wanted to try this one from Hoss Tools when I saw that on their website. The other one, our new pepper that I've never grown before, is this Guajillo pepper, and I'm growing this to make pepper powder. And also to make enchilada sauce. And then I have got the Cherokee Tan pumpkin. I've never grown this before, but considering how my South Anna butternuts did from Hoss Tools last year, I wanted to try this. The South Anna is a cross between the Waltham and the Seminole pumpkin, but they did not have any Seminole pumpkins in, so hopefully they will when I do my bean order. But they did have these in, so I also wanted to try these. They are kind of more of a native variety, so Hoss Tools said this is one of their most prolific pumpkins, and last year I saw them. Greg was harvesting these in the bucket of a big tractor, so he had so many. So want to try these this year. And here's my kitty cat. She's in the greenhouse with me. It's raining a little bit outside, that's why I'm in here, and these were out here in the greenhouse so already. So I'm gonna try this Temptress sweet corn. I was gonna do the ambrosia, and then at the last minute, I saw Travis at Hoss Tools talking about an episode where him talking about the Temptress sweet corn and it being a quad sweet. So I wanted to, at the last minute, I made an impulse to get this one instead. So I am looking forward to growing this and the variegated corn that I got from M.I. Gardner. And then another pumpkin. I want to grow some pumpkins this year because I've only grew one pumpkin last year, and that was the first pumpkin I ever grew, and I didn't start that many seeds. But these are supposed to be really prolific, and I like the color and the shape and size of these, and they're also supposed to be good for pies. The Calypso cucumber. I'm growing this one because a lot of people that are on the Hoss Tools Facebook group last year during the summer were growing these, and they're supposed to have predominantly female flowers, and everyone just had tons and tons of luck with this variety, and I have problems with mildew and pickle worms here, so I wanted to give this one a try. And the last Hoss Tools is the Hercules carrot, and I was trying to get the pelleted carrot, but they didn't have any other pelleted carrots in stock that aren't already growing in my garden this year as far as varieties, and they just got this one in, and they were talking about this one on their show. And this is a larger carrot. The carrots that I have in there are Bolero carrot and Imperator carrot, and these are supposed to be more of a larger, wider, huskier carrot. So being that it's Haas Tools, I think I'm safe to make a bet on these carrots that aren't pelleted, just because they have such high germination rate. So the next ones that I'm going to get into are Baker Creek seeds, which I have quite a bit of them. The first one is the tall orange sunflower. So this is a teddy bear type sunflower that's just a little bit larger or taller than the teddy bears. First time growing that one. And then we have the Candy Roaster North Georgia squash, which is a large roasting squash. It's kind of in between the texture, from what I read, I've never grown this before, in between the texture of a summer squash and a winter squash. But I'm really excited about growing these this year, just because I had such good luck with my butternuts and my spaghetti squash last year and my acorn squash. I just wanted to try something new and see how this did for us. Okay, and the next one is the Black Prince Snapdragon. And the Black Prince is a variety that I haven't grown before. I do feel like I have purchased starts of these before, because I've had Snapdragons growing from purchased seeds from Lowe's that looked like these. But Snapdragons are one of my favorites, and I love this deep magenta color that these come in. Next one is a tomato, and it is the orange icicle. And supposedly this is the creator of Baker Creek, his favorite tomato. So it is an orange tomato, which I like the yellow and the orange tomatoes the best. And it's more of a cylinder Roma type tomato. And the next one is going to be the blue butterfly Thai double. So this is an ornamental pea, which is a ornamental flowering pea. And it's just really beautiful, and I've wanted to grow it for a few years, but it's always been out of stock. So when I saw it in stock this time, I went ahead and grabbed it. And then the next one I'm really excited about is the arugula, the wasabi arugula. So wasabi is normally a little bit spicy, arugula is normally a little bit spicy, but I love wasabi, and I put wasabi on all kinds of food that I eat and on a regular basis. So when I saw this wasabi arugula, I was all over it. And the next one is the red torch sunflower. So we grow a lot of sunflowers here. The bees love them. We love them. They're beautiful. And this is just a Mexican style bright red sunflower that looks a lot different than any of the rest of them that we are growing. So I definitely wanted to try this. I had very good reviews from the people that have grown it as well. And the next one is the salvia, which salvia is another one of my favorite plants to grow in my garden. This is the Cleopatra mix, which the red one in the middle, the red is a red flame, which I've been growing in my garden for the last 3 years. It's perennialized. And then there's some purples and some pinks in there, and I just love the style of those flame salvias and the mixture of the different colors. So the next one is the sweet bonnet, which is a sweet Scotch bonnet. So if you've been watching any of my videos in the past, you know that I grow lots and lots of Scotch bonnets. It's one of my favorite peppers. It grows really, really well here, and it's a very sweet, super hot pepper. And it resists disease, and it's just very easy to grow as well. So these peppers are the sweet bonnet, so they're supposed to be a Scotch bonnet without the heat. which I am very interested in trying, because the Scotch bonnets are so hot you can't hardly taste the flavor without, from the intensity of the heat. So I'm really, really excited about growing these and tasting them. So the next one is the Petunia Sparklers. So I love growing petunias here, and these are like a smaller variety of different purple hues that I'm interested in putting into my containers. And this is another one that I've been trying to buy for a couple years now, that they are always sold out of, but it's the pumpkin spice jalapeno. And I'm interested in making some pumpkin spice jalapeno pepper jelly. And I want to use some of my cardinal basil with it as well, that has more cinnamony and clove taste to it. And then the lemon spice jalapeno, I'm just interested in tasting these. Get situated here. And then another salvia is a queen mix. So this is more like a sage type spiked salvia, which I've been growing the purple type like that in my garden since last year and maybe the year before. They've had a lot of these at the big box stores at Starts. And then the next one, which I'm going to be planting out a bunch today, is the nasturtiums in orchard cream, which I love the nasturtiums in the garden because they are edible, and they also help to prevent a lot of the pests that I have issues with here, such as the flea beetles and the whiteflies. Another winter squash that I'm going to be growing this year is the buttercup. So I'm going to be growing this one in place of the table queen or hybrid acorn squash. I've never grown this one before, but I'm interested to see how it's different. It seems like it has, it's a little bit larger and has more meat inside. So we will see how that goes. And my kitty is here. She's so interested in all these new seeds because she loves to hang with me pretty much everywhere, but she is really all about being in this greenhouse with me and being in the garden with me. She loves it when I go to the garden, and so she's always right underfoot. The melon that I have purchased so far to grow is the Kajari melon. I haven't tried growing these before. I've had zero success with melons. Last year I grew one sugar baby watermelon, and I tried to grow the tiger melons year before last, and I tried to grow different kinds of cantaloupe and honeydew melons last year as well. None of them turned out for me, so we're going to see how we do with melons this year, and we're going to try out the Kajari. Okay, and wouldn't you know, this year I decided to grow the kohlrabi for the first time, and I really wanted to get my hands on the purple kohlrabi, but I could not find them anywhere, so I ended up growing two different kinds of white kohlrabi, and Baker Creek sent me some purple kohlrabi as one of my free seeds. And I just got an early prolific straight neck squash, just a staple garden plant that I grow, that I just wanted to have some fresh seeds on hand for whenever I get ready to start my summer squash. And the Amish paste, I have not grown these in the past. Usually I grow Romas and the ox hearts as the paste tomatoes that I mainly grow. But I've heard a lot of good things about these. I've been wanting to try them for a while, and I've heard that they are also going to be a big shortage on this variety this year. So I went ahead and got some. And then this is something I'm excited about, is the purple peacock broccoli. I don't know, I'm going to start some today. I don't know if I'll get enough winter left to see these come to fruition, but I'm definitely going to push them as hard as I can to try and get at least some heads of these. And I've never grown that variety before. And then I have a dianthus, which is the black and white minstrels. And I love dianthus. It's another one of those things that grow really well for me here that I'm always growing all over the place. So I've never seen the black ones before or purchased them. So I definitely wanted to try those out when I saw them at Baker Creek. Just a few more seeds left. So got some cylinder beet. So I haven't grown this type of beet before. I've grown the bull's blood and the dark red Detroit, some golden beets, different stuff like that. But I've never grown this one before, and I wanted to try it out to see how much better they might perform for me as far as growing in size than the beets I've grown in the past. I've always just not really grown very big beets. And then I ended up with 2 of the greasy grits beans, so which is okay because you can never have enough beans. I intend on planting them all. I haven't tried this variety before. It's like a French fillet, tender green bean, so I just wanted to give it a try. And then we got 2 more here. This is another free seed, the Paris Island, which I have tons and tons of this because I got some from the feed store and they gave me just a whole bag full of them. So I have a million of these, but I'm glad to have some fresh ones. And then the last one is the cardinal basil. I don't think I've ever grown the cardinal basil. I've grown the cinnamon and the opal and the purple, but I've never grown this one. And this one says it is it's used in flower arrangements also, but it is I was trying to see where it said on here on the website. It talked about it having a very a lot of actual cinnamon flavor and clove flavor to it. So it's a stronger, more cinnamon and clove flavor than a lot of the other basils. So that is it for the new seeds that we just got in the mail. I'm still waiting on one from Heritage Seeds. I don't know when I'll get that. I've never ordered from that company before. Even my house tools took longer than normal, and the Baker Creek one seemed like it took a really long time to get to me from the time they said they mailed the order, like something like 2 weeks. So I don't know when I'll get them, but I wanted to show you a couple other things that I got from Lowe's recently and what I'm doing in the garden this weekend, and new projects that I got going on. So I got this thing. It has a dial. You're supposed to be able to use granular or liquid fertilizer in it, and then you just set the dial to what you are doing and it'll tell you how much to put in there, or you tell it how much you're putting in there, and it disperses it throughout the garden. So I'll be trying this out today. I did just get with the Hoss Tools, I ordered my first round of Micro Boost. So I'm super excited. I will be doing the Micro Boost along with some high nitrogen fertilizer on my cabbages and my potatoes and onions out in the garden. And I also went to Lowe's and they finally got all their potatoes and their strawberries and onions, asparagus, all that kind of stuff is in. So last year I had the purple ones, and this year I got a yellow one, a purple one, and a white one. I've already planted the purple ones out, and they did so well for me last year. And the onion starts that I had purchased from the feed store, some of them are going to end up being okay, I think, but some of them weren't looking too good. So I was happy to pick up another 3 packages of onions to put in, and also planted some Spanish onion from seed to start it. I want to keep onions going throughout the season at different stages so that I have plenty of onions to last me through all of my canning and salsa and everything else. And then I got these strawberries. They had the Ozark Beauty, which it don't say on here if these are June or everbearing, that I could tell reading through it quickly. But all the other strawberries that I purchased are everbearing, and that I have in the garden so far is the everbearing. So if these are June bearing, it's not a super big deal. But they had these and another variety that said it was June bearing, but I'd rather have the everbearing if I can manage it, if I can get my hands on it. And that's pretty much it for what I got at Lowe's. The other stuff that I got was just some garden soil, some Miracle Grow garden soil, a raised bed soil that I got, and some more starting. I did get this beautiful red petunia on the clearance rack, and then I just have it in this $8 Dollar General planter. I wanted something pretty to go beside my greenhouse, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna go back to Dollar General and get at least 3 more of these planters and put another one on this side, and maybe a couple more going into my I wanted to show you those other strawberries that I got going into my garden. So the strawberries that they were selling at Lowe's were $3 a piece. And then they had these $13 baskets, which this one has about 6 strawberries in it, and it also has already started making strawberries. So I've got these 6, which I may leave in here for a while since it's kind of happy, or I might go ahead and break them apart. I'm just going to see how much room I have left after I plant my strawberries in my strawberry stacker that I have in my garden, and we'll go from there. But I think I'm pretty much done with strawberries. I think there was 10 in the bare root package, and then there's 6 there, and I already have 5 or 6 in the garden. So the garden got rain for the first time in a couple of weeks, it seems like, since I transplanted everything. It rained all day yesterday, so it's super happy. One new thing here is I built this bed. There used to be a tire right here, and I went ahead and built this bed out. This is a brand new bed, just so I have a lot more square footage to grow in right here and take advantage of the space more. Right here I have my aluminum boards ready because I'm going to, I haven't planted anything in this bed yet because these boards are rotted that I put here in 2017. So I'm going to take them out and replace them with the metal and then start amending that soil. And then back here I got a purple kale from Lowe's, and then I got a 6-pack of curly kale from Lowe's that I planted out in these little sections in these cinder blocks. And I got me a 12-pack of those beautiful orange marigolds, French marigolds, that I've started to popping in everywhere. I want to put basil and mint and marigolds and nasturtiums everywhere to try to help with the aphids and the whiteflies and all the little bugs that bother me. And then this is the little row that I planted on Christmas Eve. My neighbor came out here and helped me plant some stuff, and it's pak choi. It's either joy choy or pak choi, but I think it's just regular old pak choi. And then I have some mint growing here and some mint growing in the back there. That's one reason why I wanted to plant these cabbages here with this mint, to help with the cabbage worms. So I went in the carrot bed, this notorious carrot bed that I started back in November, and I planted a few more carrot seeds in here that were the pelleted gold nuggets. So we'll see if those come up. I'm probably going to plant a few of those Hercules seeds in here as well, because I just hate that I have this whole side of this tire that nothing's growing in. And then over here I have my dinosaur kale or lacinato kale. And in this container here I've planted the Spanish onion seeds. And then I got some red romaine. And you can see just from a few days ago when I took the last video, that these cauliflower have jumped since we got that rain. And then I have a few extra kohlrabis in here, and some more of the cauliflower and some more red romaine. And so far our Yellowstone carrots have not germinated yet in here, but it always takes forever for carrots to germinate. It might come up, I might see them the next couple days now that we had such a full day of rain finally. But I've been watering them. And then you can see my gold nugget Hass carrots right here. They are starting to get their third leaf and looking good. This container was sugar snap peas, and they are still never really germinated very well, so I might transplant out the few that are in there and plant something else in there. But this bed I had planted kohlrabi, and there's the white Vienna kohlrabi that I had planted back in November, or I started in the greenhouse. And then this section here is the graffiti cauliflower from Hass Tools, and then the rest of this is the Quick Star kohlrabi from Hass Tools. So if this all does well, we'll have a whole big bed of kohlrabi and cauliflower in here. But they have been kind of laying over and looking a little transplant shock still, but still, you know, looking green and being okay. But after that rain yesterday, they're all standing up and looking great, so that's good. That's my strawberry container that I'm about to plant those strawberries in that are bare root. And then in here is my onions. My onions are actually starting to look a whole lot better since that rain. And I just came in here and poked all those red or purple onion bulbs that I just got in between all those Vidalia and yellow onions, so that I can have some more in there, and they're looking pretty good. And this is what my cucumbers are looking like. I've lost several of them, but I still have a few. They got uncovered by the wind, but I still got pretty good bit. I've got a ton that I've starting in the greenhouse, and I just got those new ones, those calypsos to start. So I'm just gonna keep after it, and then once I get some more ready to transplant, I'll be finishing out this whole row here. And here is my potatoes. They're gonna be happy whenever I fertilize them. These have a little bit of frost on them, but it ain't no big deal. For the most part, they are starting to jump up. They like the rain too, and these look like they just grew a tremendous bit since yesterday before the rain started. These are my Aldi Yukon type that I had just bought some organic potatoes from Aldi and planted them. And then this is my white Kennebecs certified seed potatoes and my red Pontiac certified seed potatoes. So today I'm going to be planting my feed sack potatoes. So I still got a bunch of potatoes in the greenhouse, and I will be planting those out into the bags today. See how many I have left. Here's my peas, still looking sad. And here is some strawberries that I overwintered. This one's not quite, he's still got a little frost damage on him. But this one on this side, he's got little baby strawberries. So these beds are still open, but I wanted to tell you what else I'm doing here with my metal. I'm going to be taking these here and taking the cinder blocks away and building this bed out in metal, because I have a project I want to use these cinder blocks for, and I want to straighten this bed up to where it's not so crooked. And I have a little bit more with these cinder blocks. I mean, I could plant in these cinder blocks, but I'd rather just have this whole bed be as much square footage as possible for asparagus, because you see in the greenhouse I've got a lot of asparagus that I need to make room for. So, I don't know if this looks, yeah, it does actually look like it. My watermelon radishes have started sprouting. So these are my watermelon radishes from, half of the bed is Fairy Morris and the other half is Emma Gardner. And they have started coming up, and that's the first time I've grown those, and I'm excited. So there's some more of the onions that I planted out. This one was the worst looking one because I was getting down to the bottom of the onions, and so it had the most bad looking ones in there. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the metal and I'm going to build another row right here and move these to a different area. So, Mama. That's that. And that's what my cabbages are looking like right now. And are they good? They should be. It's been cold and wet. The chickens are over here. They're ready for their snack. Every time I'm over here by these greens, I'm always throwing some greens to them. And so they're ready. You can hear them in there. They've been laying eggs this morning. And here's what my lettuce over here is looking like. We have been eating a lot of this, and it's been so good and tender. There's some more cabbages. And my broccoli. My broccolis are getting heads. This is my Green Magic broccoli. This is the best variety of broccoli I've ever grown. But I do want to start that peacock and some more purple sprouting broccoli to see if I can get them. But I have picked off this in the last week, trying to give it some more room to grow. And it is still just so happy right here. I'm so happy with this cool, wet weather that we just had. So that's it for the garden right now. So just to recap from this angle, I'm going to be making another bed kind of like this one right here down this row, and then moving these containers around to somewhere else. Mama. So that's what you should see probably the next time that I take a video. Mama. All right. Thank you very much. Have a good day.